Hello and welcome to another video review. This is Neverwinter Nights 2 Mask of the Betrayer for PC. This is the first of two expansion packs for Neverwinter Nights 2, the other one being Storm of Zahir, but this is really the only one worth getting. I don't have Storm of Zahir personally, but from what I can tell, I'm just probably not going to get it, unless it's like $2 or something, because apparently the amount of content that's added is minimal. And I've seen some of the gameplay and stuff, and it just doesn't look like it's remotely like the Neverwinter Nights 2 or even Mask of the Betrayer. Now, when they released this expansion pack, they had already released a few bug fixes for the original game, and basically what they did was they actually improved the graphics a little bit in Mask of the Betrayer. I'm not really sure exactly what looks better. I mean, I can't really tell any difference really, but it does run a little bit better with Mask of the Betrayer on. It's they improved stability just enough that it doesn't crash in every 5 minutes now. It crashes every half hour. But anyway, it's still got the horrendous bugs and stuff that were in the original game. So they're reduced, of course, especially with the latest patches and stuff. But still, it's just the jump in performance is minimal compared to the stability of the engine. Now, the only thing I really noticed about the graphics that changed was the fact that they just changed the art style to fit with the storyline. And the storyline is a very dark storyline. It's, it feels more at place in a horror story than, a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy tale. Everything's just gloomy. It just feels oppressive. I mean, it just doesn't feel quite like a Neverwinter Nights game. It feels more like something, say, I don't know, The Witcher or something like that. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's awkward going from Neverwinter Nights 2 to Mask of the Betrayer, which actually picks up right where Neverwinter Nights 2 left off. So it's actually supposed to be the sequel story to the original game. And I don't really know why they, made it so dark and, gritty and everything. It's not really gritty, but, you know what I mean. And of course, the sound design hasn't changed much, though. That's either good or bad. Take it or leave it. The voice acting is a little bit better for the main characters in this one. I say a little bit. It's not much better. They really didn't put much effort into the voice acting at all. It's still awful as usual. It's slightly less headache-inducing unless you're talking to Kaji, aka Sophia's familiar, and he's just got this really high-pitched voice, and it's really irritating. Anyway. The sound effects, they're all pretty much the same. It's just, and for some reason they decided to put in a narrator this time. It's just like, okay. I mean, now it feels more like you're playing a book or playing a movie that's set in the game. It's weird, and I think that's my main problem with it. Transitioning from Neverwinter Nights to this high fantasy romp thing is just weird. Going to this oppressive, dark, depressing storyline that, it's good, but it's just depressing, and it's just kind of like, yeah, this is just a different mood. I don't play a game, that's like Neverwinter Nights to feel like this. I mean, if I wanted to feel like this, I'd probably play something, like The White Chamber. But, anyway, the story's well done. It's not as good as the original Neverwinter Nights 2 storyline, obviously, but, it's still good. The characters are well done. They're all kind of whiny about their past and stuff. When you start to get more influence with them and stuff. But it's just, it's kind of like, okay, whoever wrote this was an emo or something. I mean, and you get used to it after a while. But still, it's just kind of like, yeah, why'd they do this? But the biggest changes came with stuff like the prestige classes. There's 5 new prestige classes. There's 6 new sub-races like the Ganazi and all that. And then, of course, you got the new interface update thingy, which is basically just, they added some camera modes at the bottom of the screen. You got the exploration mode, which is your normal Neverwinter Nights camera. Then you have RTS mode, which it likes to default to, and I don't know why. But it's basically, you can click and drag to select all your guys and order them around and everything, and the camera's kind of static and all that. And it's supposed to be like an RTS, and I don't know why they put that camera mode in there. It's kind of pointless. And then there's another camera mode that I never use, simply because there's no point to it. I mean, I always use the exploration mode, and since it always defaults to RTS mode, why bother with the other camera mode? But anyway, Interface overall has not improved much. I mean, you know, it's just, they just added those 3 buttons and that's really it. They, you know, changed the rest mechanic, so now it's 8 hours instead of just sitting there for like 5 minutes, you know, in game time, I mean. And it's just, you can get interrupted and attacked and all that. And you've got this stupid mechanic now, where you've got this, you know, hunger inside of you, and you have to devour souls to sate it. And, you know, you can suppress it and everything, but it's just, you have this meter that comes up, and it's just like, as if this meter bottoms out, you die. And it's really stupid and really annoying. And, you know, that mechanic is, it's kind of interesting for, you know, the first 5 minutes, and then just kind of like, okay, this is stupid. But, you know, overall, I'd say, you know, it's an improvement over, you know, some of the aspects of Neverwinter Nights 2. Not many. You know, it's nice to have the new content. It's nice to have, you know, multiple camera modes available if you really want those. It's nice to have, you know, the continuation to Neverwinter Nights 2 because it ends on a cliffhanger. But the main problem is they decided to go this completely different route. And, you know, it's just like, why did you make this so dark and depressing? It's just not as good as the original Neverwinter Nights 2. But, you know, overall, I can't fault it for that, apart from the fact that it just doesn't feel like Neverwinter Nights 2. You know, it's a pretty good expansion pack for, you know, the price and everything, but I mean, it's still, the engine is horrible, the voice acting is bad, the music, they added a few new tracks. I like the new theme song, it's pretty awesome, but other than that, you know, it's really not all that great. It's worth, you know, getting if you have Neverwinter Nights 2, but if you're, you know, if you're gonna get Neverwinter Nights 2, you're gonna get the Gold Edition, which includes this anyway. So, you know, it's worth a playthrough, I'd say, but other than that, it's really not, you know, all that great of an expansion pack. It's, you know, it's nice to have all the new content and everything, but still, again, it's, you know, that dark, depressing atmosphere just gets on your nerves after a while. So, all in all, I'd say it's a 3 out of 5, and thanks for watching.